and welcome to Speakers on Edge. We're doing 15 minutes of fame, and today my voice of vision with a message that matters. He has a message that is very similar to my own story and very close to my heart. Sagar, who are you?
All right, Jake. So believe it or not, I'm really embarrassed to say this. I teach people that something they do every single day, and that is talking. So I'm a public speaking coach. I help people to unleash their voice and spread their message in most beautiful possible way so that it connects with people, it lands with people. So in short, I'm a public speaking coach, and I help business owners and working professionals speak with confidence. That's what I do.
So tell us about your journey, because you weren't always this fantastically confident and...
Jake, believe it or not, I still remember first time ever I got my first speaking engagement. And that was in front of 100 school kids. And the topic was career choices and resilience. And I thought it's going to be easy peasy. I've been working for almost 15 years and I can go in front of these school kids and I can talk about things. I was listening to a lot of motivational stuff those days on YouTube, like Gary Vee style of show. So I was really excited. And when I went on the venue, believe it or not, people get butterflies in their stomach, but I was getting pigeons in my stomach. So I was about to go on stage, lay some eggs. That was my situation. And on top of that, now this vice principal comes to me and says, Sagar, I have a great news for you. I was like, is it canceled? She said, no, why would we cancel something that we've been planning for 3 months? She said, you know what? Principal decided today we're not going to have 100 kids. We're going to have 700 kids in the audience. So good luck. Are you excited? I was like, kind of. I was feeling better. I was feeling better, but now I feel more worse. So finally I get on stage and guess what? I was visibly nervous. And I asked these people, okay, what do you want to learn about career choices and resilience? And none of them asked me a question. And I start to speak nervous. I was visibly so nervous. And you know, when you speak in any auditorium, you see the clock at the back of the room. I look at the clock, 9 minutes in, and my content finished. It was 1 hour presentation. And then after that, I remembered, I've been watching YouTube. Maybe I can do some motivational stuff. And I started to do this massive verbal vomit, whatever came to my mouth. And it was such a disaster. Within 20 minutes, I wrapped up. And now I see this principal and vice principal come to me and say, Sagar, that was horrible. What was that? I was like, that's all I had. So that's how I started in my communication journey. And believe it or not, I have embarrassed myself so many times over the period of time. But every time I embarrassed myself, it got me a little bit stronger. And of course, I'm today where I am. It's because I'm sitting on the shoulder of giants. And I've learned from more than 20 people so far. And I still continue to learn from people like you who are doing really, really great things. And I incorporate all those things in my day-to-day life. And I'm not afraid of failing, because the more you fail, the better it is for you, the more successful you become.
So here, that's one of those horrid situations. Absolutely. Yeah. After 9 minutes, I've got no more content. After 20 minutes, yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Yes.
That's impossible. I mean, let's face it, public speaking, they say, is the number one fear in the world, and being eaten by a shark is number 2.
Yes.
Now, you had pigeons.
Yeah,
you had pigeons. So
absolutely.
Let's go into those pigeons for a moment. What did you do to put those pigeons into only butterflies and then into confidence?
Yeah. So one thing that I will tell you is, for a long, long time, I was in denial mode. I thought public speaking is not for everyone. This is for people who really want to speak in big conferences. Maybe it's not me. But I also had a desire. I was working in the hospitality industry, by the way. I wanted to start my business. And Then I still remember first time I wanted to start my hospitality consulting business in downtown Sydney. I got myself a little office. I hired 6 people on contract basis, and I was all ready. So 6 months I invested in building a website. I learned Facebook ads, and then this is what I did. The day came when I was supposed to do my seminar and webinar and pitch my products and services to people. So I invested $1,500 with Facebook, and it gave me 250 leads. A lead is, by the way, name, email, phone number. And out of that, 37 people showed up on my call. And as I was entering these people in, I still had that same sick feeling in my stomach that I had faced in that conference room, in that auditorium. So, as I was entering these people, I was silently praying to God, I hope these people do not show up. Why so many people are showing up? Imagine this is the day I've been waiting all my life to start my business. Now, people are here, my prospects are here, and I'm praying to God why these people are coming here. So, I ended up wrapping up that session in 45 minutes. It was 3 hour session. And then it's done, no sale, nothing happened. It was a disaster show. I did the same thing again. I went back, adjusted my PowerPoint, adjusted my slides. I was in denial mode still. Second time, I invested $1,000 with Facebook. It gave me 200 leads, and now 16 people showed up. I had the same sick feeling. Theoretically speaking, it should have been easy. If you have spoken to 37 people, 16 is easy peasy, right? Not for me. It was horrible. It was disaster. And this time I wrapped up this session in 16 minutes. Now, third time around, I was about to do the same thing, but something dawned on me. Hang on a sec. Marketing is not my problem. The slideshow is not the problem. People are coming. They're qualified prospects. The problem is me. It's my communication. I'm not able to communicate the value, and people are under no obligation to do business with me. And now the shit was getting real because I was paying the rent, I was paying my staff, and now the business relies on me and my talking, my ability to communicate. That's the first time, Jake, I was looking for coaches desperately because I needed help in this area. I knew that I don't want to go back to job and all this expense for nothing. No, that's not going to happen on my watch. So I looked for coaches and mentors. I still remember there was this guy from US. I won't name him. So I was on his webinar. I was moved. I was touched by every story he told. So he invited for one-on-one consultation call, and I showed up on the call. And he listened to my entire story. He said, Sagar, yeah, I understand. 6 months you're not making any money. The business is getting dry. We can help. We can help. The only factor between you and your success, it is your ability to communicate and tell stories. You're not able to connect with people on emotional level. And if you can't do that, you won't sustain your business. And everything looked fine. I said, okay, let's do it. And then he said something in terms of investment, it's going to be $10,000. I was like, $10,000? Like, who pays that kind of money for speaking, for talking? Are you serious, man? He said, yes. Sagar, the problem that you're solving is one of the biggest problem in your business. That's the bottleneck. And you have no idea if you fix this problem, what is possible for you. I was like, nah, man, I'm smart cookie. I'll figure out, on YouTube. I'll go to Google. I'll watch videos. I'll figure this out. And he said something to me I'll never forget, because I was eating samosa. I don't know if you know this triangle thing with potato inside. I was eating samosa and I was talking to him. And then he said, you know what? Come back to me in 6 months' time. I'll still be here. You will go more broke, probably go back to your job. With that attitude, with that level of understanding in terms of communication. And first time somebody called me out. And I was eating this samosa and the potato filling fell on my shoe. And my mouth was open, like, what the hell he just said? I hung up that call, and believe it or not, Jake, for 2 days I could not sleep. And these words haunted me at night that I'm going to go more broke. I'm going to go back to the job. I'm going to continue doing this. I'm going to lose more money. I got to pay rent. I got to pay people, and it's not going to happen. And then I went back to this guy and I signed up. He said, you know what? Let's do it. And you would think that everything got fixed. No, the next webinar I did was much more disaster. Now, what happened is, before I thought that it's just talking. Now this guy taught me about pitch, tone, pace. Now I thought I don't know 40 things. Now I was more doubtful than ever. But eventually, what I realized is I worked on one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. And I practiced my stories over and over again. And just by doing so for almost 4 months, you could wake me up in the middle of the night and I could tell you those stories. And that's what we need. In order to become successful, most people think that is magic pill, but I would say there are like 5, 7 stories you really need to master that lands with people, that connects with people, and that move them emotionally, and they see this is my guy. I would like to do business with him. Because bottom line is this, we are living in very interesting time right now. Whatever people know, whatever anyone knows, for that matter, we can go to Chat GPT, we can go to Perplexity, there are 10 AI tools. Information, people are drowning in information, but what we are starving for right now is wisdom. Somebody give us that distilled knowledge in a way that lands with us. That is necessary. And since then, I cracked the code. My code was very simple. The more coaches I have, the more I'm going to grow. So I never stop investing in myself, learning from different people. And I think that's the very essence of it. When it comes to skills, somewhere you got to be real, because watching will only take you so far. Reading will only take you so far. Practicing in the bathroom in front of the mirror will take you so far. But if you want to play on elite level, so if you want to drive a car, watching a podcast is good. There's nothing wrong. Um, you can admire some of the amazing Formula One drivers. But man, somewhere you have to be honest with yourself. Do I have someone who is teaching me driving? Am I sitting in the driver's seat, driving on the real roads with real people? That's what is required. If you want to learn swimming, it's the same thing. You have to get in the pool. You got to have someone who teaches you swimming. You can't watch swimming from podcasts and then go on the beach. It's not going to work. Same is with public speaking. What most people do, and I was doing the same. I was in the same boat, by the way. We're trying to fix speaking problem by listening and watching. That's not possible. Somewhere you have to be honest with yourself. You know what? I got to do the work. And let's do what it takes. Thinking is not doing work. Watching is not doing work. Listening is not doing work. Work is, there are two words here. One is public. You need audience. You need to speak in front of people. And second is speaking. Watching will not solve your speaking problem. And the more you fail, like there is something I call quota of suckiness. Everyone has their quota of suckiness. You probably will suck 20 times before you become good. But if you procrastinate your quota of suckiness and you avoid it as much as you can, then you will never get there. So you finish your quota of suckiness, go through it as fast as you can so you get to the good part. And this is what I would say: be faithful to small and big will come. Speak in a small room of 5 people, then increase it to 10 people. But if you think one day I'm going to just magically speak in front of thousands of people in a conference, not going to happen. Be faithful to small and big will come. So I think that was my journey. And after that, I did it so many times. I failed so many times. But then it's just like a muscle memory. Once you have driven the car 100 times, 101st time it becomes easy. Now that nervousness, the cortisol becomes dopamine. It gives you a kick. It gives you excitement. When people applaud and they stand up and they say, man, I needed to hear that. That was absolutely epic. That was awesome. Thank you. You made my day. And it gives you a different feeling. It gives you that different kick. And you want to show up for people. And one of the biggest shift that I had was in the mindset. And this I learned from Simon Sinek, by the way. It is called giver's mindset. So when I show up in front of people, I never show up that, look how smart I am, I fancy language I use, the complicated words and data research. I keep it really simple and I go with the mindset. It's not about me, it's about people. I know few things better, and I just want to explain it in simple word that people understand, they get value from it. I'm going to help, because if you go to any conference or seminar, you're going there with a mindset of learning. And as a presenter, if we can go with a mindset of helping people, that makes life really easy. And technically, it is not about you. It is about your subject matter expert. You know a few things better than other people. Your job is to communicate it in really simple words so people get value out of this. If you go with that mindset, I think the game changes.
This has been one of my favorite Speakers on Edge 15 Minutes of Fame, because I've been where you've been. I've sat back, I've had those failures, and I've had technical failures in front of thousands where the tech fails. Oh,
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, these are the scars of the 10,000 hours of expertise.
Yes, yes.
And today we have this opportunity to get access to the public so much easier than ever before, and having the opportunity to overcome your quota of suckiness.
Yes.
Love that, your quota of suckiness.
Yes.
When somebody has a message that matters, this is a message. What's your quota of suckiness at? Have you overcome it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know,
my friend, where I have to ask, because we have run out of time, where can people find you?
Okay, so it's easy to find me. You go to publicspeakingdomination.com, and there you can find our website, all the links. You can join our programs if you want to. So also you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and all the links are on my website. So Public Speaking Domination. As the name suggests, if you really want to dominate in your marketplace, this is the place where you want to be.
Excellent. And we'll also have your photo and a button on our Speakers on Edge website, that's speakersonedge.com, and on the 15 Minutes of Fame guest page. Wow. Is it time for you to be out there doing some public speaking? You know what to do. Talk to him. Oh, look, I made a mistake. It happens. We'll see you next time, folks, on Speakers on Edge. Bye.